Okay, so I'm just going to record a little video on how to bind these. So we've got our joints, and they've got names: upper, lower, and then just the tip at the very end here. And I've got these different boxes here. I've got my top box, my tube in the middle, and my bottom. And the tube, I've made sure to cut in a row of points right down the middle of where the joint is, and some on either side of that. Next, these are all in hierarchies, and they're under a null, so I'll just call this robot, let's say. And I want to apply a skin object as a deformer down here at the very base. So I'm going to add a skin. I just hit Shift-C to search for this. I'm going to add skin and drag it down below. And the skin object acts as a deformer. Now, for my top object, each of these in a row, I'm going to go ahead and choose a character tag and choose a weight tag. And I'm going to drag in the object that I want to link to this. And in this case, there's only one object that should be controlling this, and that's upper. So I'm going to drag it in, and I'm going to choose Set Bind Pose, which is going to record the current rotation. And now, I believe it's in the character menu, Manager, the Weights Manager. And there is Auto Weight, and if you hit Calculate, it will do a pretty good job, hopefully, if you have your joint selected. So you select your joint, go to Auto Weight, and choose Calculate, and it'll automatically apply your weighting. Now let's do the same thing for bottom. So Cinema4D tags, or character tags, weight, drag in lower, go to my joints, choose lower, auto weights, calculate, does a pretty good job. Now the tube is going to be a little more complicated because it's got two joints that we want to affect it with. So we go to character, let's see, the weight tag, and then in this weight tag I want to drag in both my upper and my lower, because these are both joints that are going to affect it. Then I go to the joints tab here. I want to select both upper and lower, and let's just calculate automatic weighting. And you can see that it did a pretty good job, except that it looks like this is where the joint is as opposed to right here in the middle. So this is where it gets a little bit more challenging, and you kind of have to go in there with your paintbrush tool, which you can get by double clicking, and you pick the joint that you want, and you can kind of set the strength there through painting. Oops, right? And it's this super tedious process. Or you can, I think, select that ring of points and set its weight. And then I'm going to select this other joint, and I'm also going to give it control of these. And this is almost right, except that now these points have been given 100% weight by multiple objects, and it's supposed to all add up to 100. So I believe there's a normalize option. So if you select all of these and then choose normalize, it's going to ensure that it never gets higher than 100%. Do you have to select all your points to do that? Well, that's delightful. That seems a little buggy. Okay, so now theoretically, if I rotate upper, those come, and if I rotate lower, these come too. But you can see that there are some issues there with how those points are being weighted, and you have to play around with them. So it's not a fun process.
Okay.
And it's going to be hours. Ilana over there can tell you. She's got sort of a grin on her face from seeing that you're about to suffer in the way that she has.
Oh no.